Hello, Gun Nation. How's everyone doing this evening? Hope y'all are doing well, your family, and all of that stuff. And definitely, yeah, Pistol Pete gave me the go ahead, so I went ahead and hit it. But we will do a quick roll call. I've already got some questions out there, and I've got some goodies to share with y'all. But let's see, and we'll get into this item back here. Brian Duchesne, I don't know if you're still on, but I appreciate you stopping in and saying hello. We got CZ Shadow 2. And CZ, I will answer your question. We got Lynn Holt, Double B, Dennis Buckner, and of course Pistol Pete. And I will call out anyone else that comes in. But the question was with CG Shadow 2 was asking, oh, real quick, cheers everyone. We have Bullet bourbon this evening. Cheers. But he was asking question, would you buy a 10.5 upper right now? And my answer to that is buy what you want, not what buy whatever you want and need. Don't let upcoming BS or whatever hinder your thought process or whatever. You buy what you want to buy. That's the way I look at it. It's the way I've always looked at it. So if you want it, you need it. I mean, I think 10.5. I personally prefer a little longer, depending on what caliber you're going to get. If it's 5.56, nothing below a 10.5. I know 10.3s will function, but I actually prefer like 11.5, 12.5 personally. But I've got 10.5s as well. So get what you want, and because you can. Let's see here. Dennis Buckner had a question. Big J, what do you think of the Springfield M1A? I mean, I think it's cool. It's definitely long in the tooth, but there's nothing wrong with it. Some are a little heavy. But if that's what you're into, by all means, get it. I personally, that's just me. But I mean, I think it's a good option, and it definitely works. It's proven. So if that's what you want. Hello, Dirt Track. How are you? Yes, Dirt Track is already falling into what the chat's about tonight. He is saying, hi, all. How many are enough, you ask? The answer is always one more. That's kind of what I'm going to talk about because that's a question I get asked all the time. Hello, Milkman. How are you? 500 Magnum. Hello, Fina. Clyde Cumberland. Hope y'all are all doing well. I want a CZ Shadow 3 and 45 Auto. I don't think they're ever going to make that. Hey, what's up, Bald and Curious? How are you, man? My Kai. Let's see here. Says I have a 10.5 and 300 blackout. It's beautiful. All I can do is improve it. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy a 10.5 300 blackout. That is the shortest I would get in a 10.5. I know that they function in a 7-inch barrel and all that stuff, but man, there's just not enough real estate there for me personally. Yes, repeal the NFA. Thank you so much, Lynn Holt. He's saying, Big John, I know you don't like revolvers as much as me, but you have, or as much as me, but you have that 500 Bushwhacker, man. That's going to be a hand cannon. Yeah, it's actually a 357. I don't own a 500. I've shot them before, and I've shot 460 Casull, but they weren't mine. But yeah, it's definitely a fun one. Fina is asking, what's in the background? Let's go ahead and get into it. What is back here in the background is this is a Model 98. It is a German Mauser Model 98 K98. It is actually passed down to me from my grandfather, or to be very honest with you, it's my wife's grandfather. But he and I were like that. He was in the German War. He was a pilot. This was officially off of the battlefield. However, it had a broken stock. He was a pilot. This is the story that I was told. I believe him. Picked it up off the battlefield, had a broken stock, threw it in his plane, flew back, and it does have the markings on it, if you know where I'm going with this. So, brought it back. The stock was unsalvageable, unfixable. So he had to have it put in a modern stock. So that's a modern Sportster stock. I would rather it be in the factory stock, but it is an 8 millimeter Mauser. I have shot it. It functions perfectly, works perfectly, and it's a beast. It is a handful. So the rifle that's right there matches what's right there. So that's his, and that was his. So it's a family heirloom I will never get rid of. So his name was Dewey. I'll go ahead and say his name. I used to call him the Dew Stir. Gave him that nickname. He was a he was a good guy. Had a bunch of girlfriends, but he was a really good guy. So, but yes, I have shot that. Shoots great. Again, it is a beast. It does have the peep sights. Those are a more modern sight on the rear, but functions perfectly. Of course, that is not the factory stock, but that modern stock is in great condition. The only thing when you pull the bolt back, it's rubbed the wood finish, of course, because it's not perfect for that particular setup. But it does work, works great, and shoots great. So, of course, you can put optics on it if you want. It's got the hole, you can drill the holes in it and all that other stuff, but I just want to keep it like it is. I would like to eventually have the correct stock for it, but not a big deal. Bald, it actually went really well. He did tell me that he was going to be taking a couple of vacation days. I interviewed with 3 people, one physically there, 2 on a speaker, they're more modern, but it's kind of like the speaker box. And those 2 gentlemen that were on the speaker box were in another state. So I did interview with all 3 of them. They had some other people they were interviewing, but it went really well. He told me he would be off. He's the vice president. He would be off a couple of days this week. I didn't hear anything today. And sometimes when people say a couple of days, that could be 3. But I should hear something this week. So appreciate you asking on that. Fingers crossed, all that good stuff. 308. No, it's an 8 millimeter. No, I haven't heard of the 500 Bushwhacker. Maybe I've seen it. It didn't stick in my head. Yeah, appreciate you reloading. Thumbs up, people. I'd appreciate it so much. You know what's crazy? I remember back in the day, you could get like the Mausers that were brought over that had the symbol ground off of them. You could get those things in a bucket. I mean, those things used to just be stacked in buckets and banged around. You could get those things for like 150, $200, but not now, especially this one. I've been offered, I had somebody look at this one now, of course, it doesn't have the factory stock, but to kind of check all the numbers and everything. And they said this one, it's got a lot of markings on it. The numbers, I'm not going to say what they are, but supposedly this is more of a sought after one. I don't know if that's true. That's just what the person told me. And he kind of specializes in those rifles. But anyway, yeah, Bald he was. He definitely was. Yeah. He had a bunch of girlfriends. Hey, Captain Phil, how are you, man? Positive thoughts, positive results. Yes, sir. Definitely been thinking that. It has been kind of a letdown on, recently. With budgets, people's budgets and things like that. That's what I'm hearing a lot of. A lot of people are having hiring freezes. It's when you get into the big corporate world and all that kind of crap, it's just a weird time right now. So everybody's like, oh, there's thousands of jobs out there. Well, for niche type things, there's not thousands of them. If I was going to go work in a warehouse or something like that, there are quite a few of those. All right. What I was getting into, and the reason I thought about this, how many are enough? And what the title means by that is how many guns are enough? I get asked all the time, like, why do you have so many guns? Why do you have so many pistols? Why do you have so many rifles? Why do you have so many of this? All you need is 1 or 2 pistols, a shotgun, an AR, or whatever. I mean, a lot of that is true. However, in a situation, of course, I collect and I enjoy and things like that. Many people do. It's not a must by any means. Um, However, I tend to, I don't buy a bunch of budget stuff. Not that I don't have any, I do have some, but not that I just buy a bunch of budget stuff so I have 10 times or 20 times the amount of some people. I buy things that I really, really want and things that I'm really usually going to keep. And I have gotten rid of some. I mean, I know people that say, "Oh, I'll never sell a gun," or "I'll never sell this," or "I'll never sell that." Why? I mean, if you don't like it and it doesn't work for you, why keep it? But if something were to happen, I have family, I have things like that that I would want to help take care of. Um, so that's another reason that I have what I have, and I enjoy them. However, it does run into situations where sometimes I'll look in the safes and I'll be like, man, I haven't shot that gun or even played with that gun in 2 years. If you look at the community stuff that I post up and do some of that and the shorts that I do, um, some of those hell, that's the first time I pulled them out in 2 years. I mean, I just don't shoot some of them, a lot. So I definitely want to kind of get back into those, take them for a run, things like that. Um, they all work. I know that, but you know, kind of take them out and shoot them a little bit. Let's see here. Captain Phil saying Washington State is trying to pass an AWB and a pre-purchase license. Yes, I did hear about that. It's ridiculous. I think all of this crap is ridiculous. Clarence Thomas said it best, and he's said it numerous times. But they're all going to try to do what they're going to do, and then have it go through court, get struck down, all this other crap. But I think it's all a damn joke. You know, and I was talking to a buddy. Y'all all know him, Uncle Dan. Today we were discussing some things, and and y'all know this. I'm preaching to the choir, but like I said again today with him, I said, you've got the ATF, okay, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. They don't they don't really do anything with alcohol. They don't. Tobacco, like if somebody steals a semi truck of cigarettes or whatever, then they'll send 4 or 5 guys after that. But yet, for firearms, for legal gun owners, they'll send teams and teams of people to somebody's house. They don't focus on the cartels where they need to be. They don't focus on Chicago where they need to be, gang violence where they need to be. They go after law abiding citizens that pay their taxes, that do everything right. Those are the people they're going after. What's wrong with that picture? What is wrong with that picture? So your tax dollars that you're paying are going to go after you. Really? Doesn't make a damn bit of sense. So, but it is what it is. But that's what I was saying. If you feel that you need something or you're lacking in something, such as they were talking about the 10.5 earlier. If that's something you need, you want different umpers, buy them. If you want a different pistol, buy it. Nobody controls anybody except yourself. And with they're not laws because they can't make laws, but with the regulations, that are coming down, do what you and your family feel that you need to do. That's how I'm going to say it. I've said that numerous times. I mean, I sound like a broken record, but that's my feeling. So, hey, what's up, Scott? How are you, man? But and then going to how many is enough. Some things that I would definitely, and I've preached this before too, I would definitely stock up on, and I say this numerous times and all the time, is magazines. For your ARs, your 300 or your 308s, your pistols, whatever. 1 or 2 mags, that's not enough. And I'm talking standard capacity, because if anything comes down or goes left or whatever, and they start trying to push this 10 rounds or whatever, load up on standard capacity. They're yours. You've bought them. You do what you need to do. But mags also make the guns run. So if you have damaged mags, damaged feed lips, whatever, And this is something that, maybe some of you younger people haven't had to deal with, but I've always stocked up on AR mags and things like that. And Bald and some of the older guys can probably attest to this, and the older young ladies and things like that. Y'all probably don't remember way back in the day when nobody could get mags or standard capacity mags. And one magazine, a 30 round standard magazine, could go upward 125, 150 bucks. So just saying, that's what I would invest in. That is something that I think everybody should have. Yeah, exactly. It's like the IRS goes after your Zelle payments, waitress tips, but not real tax evaders. Exactly. You know, that's why they brought on all the IRS agents and all this extra stuff, not to go after, the billionaires and gazillionaires and the companies and things like that. It's to start going after the little guys. That's exactly what they did it for. But yet, they won't put criminals in jail, like real criminals with records this long. They're going to go after the person that accidentally did something wrong on their tax form, 5 years ago. That's who they're going to go after. Makes no sense. He who dies with the most gun wins. Yeah, there was a meme I put up a long time ago, and it said, "At my funeral, I'm going to pass out stun guns, those little stun guns, and the last one standing wins them all." I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah, I get it, Dennis. I get it, and that's what I'm saying. They'll probably take your 10 rounds and say, "Oh, now they're 5." So if you need to load up on 10 round, load up on them. What's up, Gun Snob? How are you, man? So that is the story of the rifle behind me. But yeah, I'll never get rid of that. It's going to be passed down. That's the way it is. Didn't know also if y'all had heard, and I actually found out about this, and I shared it with some friends and things. One of the friends has already ordered one. But have y'all heard of the Stealth Arms Platypus? It's a 2011 um, aluminum frame and all that other stuff, but it is a double stack. Let me rephrase that: double stack 1911. But we know that this is 2011. However, it does take Glock mags. So it's called Stealth Arms Platypus, which is a weird name, but it actually is a really cool looking gun. There's a couple of guys that are running it on YouTube. Not super huge channels. I guess they bumped into the person at SHOT Show or the booth and checked it out. And there's, like 2 or 3 videos with them shooting it and having like 10 or 15 people shoot it, and they're running the crap out of it. It looks like a really good gun. They're saying the trigger's nice. I haven't seen anything with the poundage pull. Like, is it a 2-pound trigger, 3-pound trigger, whatever? I don't know that. But it is pretty cool looking. I do have a good friend of mine that's already ordered one. The neat thing on their website, you can go in and build it like you want it. So you can have it cut for the dot that you want. You can have the color fill on the grip that you choose. You can have the color fill for the name and everything that you choose. They'll even Cerakote the magwell if you choose a magwell. They'll Cerakote the safeties, the trigger, that you can pick whatever color you want. So you go in and literally build everything you want on the gun, and threaded barrel, non-threaded barrel, the whole works. And then you buy it and they ship it, and that's how it goes. So check out the Stealth Arms Platypus if y'all want to check that out. Oh, okay. Yeah, and it does take Glock mags. Gunner is saying, I have shot the Stealth Arms Platypus. Really? What'd you think about it? I'd love to hear. I mean, from someone, on the chat who's actually really shot it. Yeah, my kite does use Glock mags. Yeah, he does. That's funny. One more. Oh, okay. That's the first. Okay. So that was your first double stack 1911 that you had ever shot, and it was a dream to shoot. That's awesome, man. Cool. I think it's going to do really well. The price point is not bad at all. I mean, I don't want to quote the price point, but I think it was like $1,600. And I mean, hell, everybody should have a lot of Glock mags. Oh, okay. TGC had a video on that yesterday. It looks interesting. Yeah, I had actually found it like a week and a half ago and sent it to some buddies. We were all texting and sent it to Uncle Dan and Harry and a bunch of other guys. And what's funny is the person who ordered it, and y'all know him, the person who had ordered it, okay, I had sent him that video that evening and said, hey, check this out. And he said, I had talked to the company today and I'm ordering one. And I was like, oh, cool. So it just happened to be that way. Hey, what's up, Chris? How are you? Chris in the 740 will have his chat after mine if y'all want to tune in over there. I was on there last week and it was a good time. Young Guns, appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. But yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be an interesting gun. Hello, Angry Sarge. How are you doing, brother? I think it's going to be an interesting option. And like I've said, y'all know that I'm not a huge Glock fanboy. However, I own them. And I think everyone should own them. We've all talked about this. If you have SHTF or whatever, you're going to be able to find Glock mags, Glock parts, all this other stuff, versus a lot of the whiz bang guns, that we all enjoy, but, they're just not tons of parts laying around out there for it or mags if something were to happen. Um, However, if you load up on mags, you have your own mags, but you know what I mean. So, if it takes Glock mags, that's actually not a bad thing. Let's see here. Also, I don't know if y'all, and where I was kind of going with this with Glock, there's a lot of people that, maybe you're on a budget or need a home defense gun that's inexpensive and things like that. And I did post it up on the community tab, so you can click the link and go over there. But PSA is having their dagger pack, and I haven't ever seen it this cheap for this particular model, but it's called the PSA dagger pack. And on this particular dagger, it has the RMR cut, it has the rear sight in front of the RMR, and it has, nice sights on it. It has, I think it comes with 10 P mags, 15 round mags, so it's the compact, and it does come with a nice little bag, and it's only $3.99 plus shipping. I mean, that's cheaper than like buying a Polymer 80, then building it, then buying all the damn parts for it. And I think the PSA has a lifetime warranty on it. But $3.99 is pretty damn unbelievable. So, and it's a Gen 3 version, of course, like the Glock. So, because the patent's out on it. But, if anybody's needing an inexpensive type gun, maybe a truck gun or something, a backup gun, that might be a good option for some people, especially at that price. So if you're interested, you can go over and check it out. I've got it posted on the community tab. Pistol Pete is saying, I've never shot a Glock. Heard some good things about them. Perfection, they do say. I think a Glock is far from perfection, and I'm not trying to hate on anybody. They work. I mean, the only Glock I ever had that didn't work, it was a Glock 17 Gen 4. And on the Gen 4s, if y'all remember when they first came out, they had very erratic ejection. I mean, I could be shooting it and they would just land on my head. They would hit me straight in the eye. I mean, the ejection was just all over the place. But they got that corrected, but it took forever. And I was so mad at that damn gun because, I mean, I could shoot it. I mean, they were going everywhere. It was the craziest ejection. I've got old videos on it. It was a Glock 17 MOS Gen 4. But that gun was nothing but problems. So I did get rid of it. I don't miss it. But, like I said, for the most part, they are good pistols. Angry Sarge is saying, the dagger does the trick. It's priced perfectly, and I actually like it. Cool. I haven't shot one. I have a friend who has one, and he actually likes it. I have heard some people saying the pins back out. However, the earlier ones that they made, PSA was fixing them. And like I said, I think they have a lifetime warranty on it. Pistol Pete's asking, anyone have a Holosun EPS carry? I don't personally have one. I have played with them. Texas Gun Experience has them in. They have the carry version and the uh, the regular version, the full size version. I've looked through them. They actually look really nice, very clear, and I do like them that they have. It's of course an enclosed emitter, but it's not the big box. It's the smaller. But they seem pretty squared away. And you have the different reticle options if you choose that one. I don't think you could go wrong with it. And I do like the enclosed emitters. I do prefer that because, and I've talked about this before, an open emitter, I carry appendix, and the open emitter, if you don't wear an undershirt and and everybody does this, you shed, we all know this. So your skin and stuff, it's just all falling on the gun. And in the little cup, so it just kind of gets packed on the window, or, if you're running it on your outside waistband or whatever, and you're outside training and it's misting and raining, it's just getting in that little cup. Now they do have drains in them if it's raining hard enough. But, heck, you could sit there and shoot the gun on a closed emitter, and you can take your thumb and just wipe the back window. And I've done that on a video. I've been, shooting, bang, 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 and just wiped it with this thumb. If you get anything on it, you don't even have to take your hands off the gun. So, I am definitely pro closed emitter, and there's multiple ones. I've got the Acro P2, I've got the Steiner MPS that are enclosed. Those are the two that I have. I wanted the EPS. Could have bought it, but with the job situation, I'm just like, I don't really want to buy one and throw it on anything yet. I want to wait. But yeah, I think it's a good option. Hello, Brad. How are you? He's saying, I was impressed with my dagger for the amount of rounds I shot through it, but I had to send it back to PSA after having an unreasonable amount of light primer strikes. Okay. All right. Yeah, and the firing pin, I guess. They had to fix the firing pin. Okay. Yeah, and I wonder if you could change it out for a Glock firing pin. I'm just wondering if you could. I would assume you could. HK boys. HK hates regular people. They hate the poorers. No, I'm just joking. HK makes a good gun. Young Guns is saying, is the FN 545 worth the price? Only comes with 2 mags, and the new mags are $60. All FN mags are not cheap. They're pretty similar to some of the SIG mags. I like it, FN. I've got several of their guns. They work great. Never had an issue with them. Their mags are pricey, but FN is very similar to HK. They make very good products, but they're definitely proud of them. But I think if y'all, if y'all like them, grab one. I've never shot the 545, so I don't know personally. The suppressor, that suppressor, Texas Suppressor Act thing. Haven't heard anything else about it. Hopefully it will pass and go through. It is what it is. You're still going to have these trolls messing with it, but I don't know. I don't know where we're going to go with that. I look at it this way. If I have to go get a muffler on my truck or an exhaust on my truck, I don't have to pay a $200 tax stamp. Why should I have to do that to put a muffler on my gun? Makes absolutely no sense. It's stupid. It's not a firearm. It's an accessory. It's a freaking tube. What can it do on its own? Absolutely nothing. So it's ignorant, but whatever. Gabriel is asking, is that a BOG? Yes, that is a BOG Death Grip, carbon fiber back behind me. It's a great tripod, had no issues with it. Yeah, when you the $60 on that mag, hell, you get into 2011 mags and they're $70, $80, $100, sometimes $110, for 2011 mags, so they're not cheap. Yes, Pistol Pete, he has. He's had a ton of VP9s. Yeah, he'll like them for a couple of weeks, get rid of it, and then get another one 2 weeks later. But it's kind of weird. Sometimes, you fall out of love with something and then you get it back in your hand and you really love it. And he's done that with P10Cs. He's done that with PO7s. There's like a handful of guns that he's done that with. Not saying that's bad. That's just, what he does. Some people do that. Yeah, suppressed shooting is responsible shooting. And that's also what's funny is even in other countries, it's basically when you buy a new rifle or a new pistol, it's like you just get a suppressor with each one. I mean, not they don't come with it, but I'm just saying, European, you can just buy them and walk out the door with them. Not that you can, you have to keep them at the gun club at some states, or European nations, but you know what I mean. It's a muffler. Hello, Abigail. How are you? All right, Danny P is saying I recently got the FN 545 and put about 100 rounds through it. Shoots nice. Do hate the price of the mags, but it is what it is. The trigger's pretty nice, way better than Y. So that's good, man. So we're getting firsthand knowledge of it. Hello, Dale. How are you? We got about 53 people on here. Y'all smash that thumbs up button. I definitely appreciate it. Subscribe if y'all aren't subscribed. I'd appreciate that too. Not going to beg for it, but I appreciate it. Let's see if there's anything else. What else did I do? There was something I did the other day. I was doing something with. I did want to talk about this. I have people send me stuff and things like that, and I had a company that I ignored and ignored and ignored. They kept sending me emails, "Hey, we want you to check this out. We want you to check that out. Blah blah blah." And so anyway, I said, "You can send it to me." I actually physically told them this in an email. I said, "You can send it to me, but it's probably going to be a while before I get to it." And they were like, "Fine," boom, shipped it out. So I got it, and in order to check this out, I have to move. It's basically an optic, I'll tell you that. But I'm going to have to take an optic, a really, really, really good optic off in order to put this less expensive optic on in order to test it. I haven't had the time to do it. Been busy trying to get the job situation squared away. Y'all pretty much know what's going on. So it's just not a priority, and it hasn't been one. And they reached back out, how's it going? And I told them, hey, I told you it's going to be a while, blah, blah, blah. And I thought they were cool. Then they sent me an email back, and they're like, our boss wants this done, this done, this done, or our new boss wants all these things done for, people with reviews. And I was like, well, for one, I'm not going to do what he says because that was not told to me originally. I'm not going to make 3 or 4 videos on one freaking optic. And that's not what this is about. So I was just going to test it, see if I like it, go from there, give you all an update on it. So I'm not going to do what they want to be done in the second video. And also I told them again, I said, I told you it was going to be a while. It hasn't even been a month, So I'm like, if you want me to send it back, you can pay the shipping. You can send me a label and I'll send the damn thing back because I don't give a shit. And I don't have time to be freaking harassed over over an optic. So anyway, I haven't heard anything since, but I'm just like, man, I mean, God dang. For one, you're not going to buy me. I'm going to tell you honestly if I like it or not, period. But, I gave you the option and told you what was going on way beforehand, not about the job situation, just about I don't have time to jack with some of this stuff. And, now they act like it's some immediate thing. But anyway, I didn't know if any of you people out there that have channels and stuff run into that or whatever, but dealing with some of these companies is just, man, it's just such a turnoff. I mean, I want to help companies. This one is not an American company, but I do try to help American companies, things like that, grow. And like I said, I was going to give an honest review of this, but this whole deal is just pissing me off. Let's see here. Fina was asking, do I like any bullpup rifles? I've shot a bunch of bullpup rifles. For me personally, they're not really my thing. And the reason being, if you need a small, like a 16-inch barrel, but a smaller package, bullpups are definitely awesome for that. But having the mag in the back and different, setups is kind of weird. But then also with your trigger linkage, when you add the linkage to extend the trigger farther out, like towards the front, you know where I'm going with this. It creates leverage and things like that. And some of those triggers can be really, really crappy, like the Tavors, and then you have to buy the Geisley pack, which is another $250 to make it better. Some of the triggers, they're okay. Some of them are even worse than a mil-spec trigger, but they're just really not my thing. Not saying that they're bad. They're just not my thing because I'm so, used to AR-15 setups. If I trained with one and that was my go-to rifle, then I could get used to it, but it's not, and it hasn't been, so I'm just not used to it. I mean, a lot of them shoot fine. It's just I'm really not crazy about the trigger. In order to eject the mag, it's kind of weird on some of them, but it can be whatever works for you and whatever you prefer. I would never tell anybody to get one or not get one. It's all comes down to what you want, what you like. Bald says one of the reasons I hesitate to reaching out to companies or receiving free stuff or reviews, I don't want to feel obligated doing videos right away and please anybody. Yeah, I hear you. But I'd tell a lot of them this, and I'll be straight up front with it. If I open it up and, if it's just something where I don't have to mount it or whatever, such as like a holster or something like that, I can open it up, play around with it, and get a good opinion of it pretty quickly. And there's a lot of them where companies have sent me things and I open it up and I'm just like, nope, not wasting my time. Damn sure not going to advertise it to my viewers because it's nothing I would recommend. So I won't do a review on it and be like, oh, this thing's an ultimate piece of shit. I don't want to waste my time, your time. I don't want to put a video out and have it on my channel just saying this is a piece of shit. And then I've had some where I've done long testing because I don't just test something once. I'll carry it, I'll shoot it, I'll test it, I'll do a bunch of stuff with it. And if y'all remember, Hive, I'll just say the name of the company, not trying to beat them up or any of that. But for the Shield mags, for the 45 and the Shield 9, I got those mag extensions in, I tested them, ran them for a long, long time. And then they started failing. I'm talking, I ran thousands and thousands or thousands of rounds through these things, and then they started failing. And people have even checked out those old videos and said, oh, what do you think about these? And I said, nope, wouldn't buy them. I mean, I actually even think I have it posted on the video, but they didn't read that. But I'm like, no, the video's up, and I ran a ton of rounds through them, but I would not recommend these. So, if it's something that I keep testing, but I put videos out on, I'll go back and renote the videos because I just don't want to keep my name on something I don't recommend anymore. Jimmy Ho, how are you, sir? Rich B, I like the Cajun Gunworks P10F flat aluminum shoe. Got 2 of them. They're really smooth out the take up. Yeah, Cajun Gunworks makes good stuff. Hey, what's up, Red Menace? How are you? Pistol Pete, they don't send you anything. I mean, there's a lot of companies y'all know that I work with and that I really, really do like. I've got great relationships. Their products are awesome, such as Lock Grips. I have never, ever, ever had a bad Lock Grip. So that's why I recommend them. That's why I keep the discount code with them. That's why I use them, literally use them. I was using them way before I was buying them, way before they were sending me grips to check out. I've talked to them about things that I would like to see them make, and then they make it. So definitely like Lock Grips. Harry's Holsters, I like Harry's Holsters a lot. Been working with him. I've been working with Lock Grips for like 5 or 6 years, 5 years, I think. Harry's Holsters for probably 4 or 5 years. Really like their stuff. Lynx Defense, their bags. I really love their bags. Been working with him for 4 or 5 years. Then there's some companies that I started working with, back when, and I deleted my discount code because I kind of fell out of love with their products, and I don't recommend them anymore. But the ones that you see that are current and you see me keep advertising them, those are companies I believe in and work with. Pistol Pete, were those X Tech Tactical extensions? No, they were Hive. Hive were the ones that suck. X-Tac were the ones that were good. So X-Tac makes good extensions for the shield. Have you put your eyes on the new Filster Floodlight 2? I have the Gen 1 and love it. They have them for the X300 or the TLR1. I have played with them before. I haven't owned one. It was a buddy of mine's, but I played with it. Speaking of that, if you want to get into it, and I was going to do a review on it because I paid for it. I've had it for already a year, and I haven't done a review on it. But since y'all are my family members, I'll tell you. I have the Tier 1 MSP holster. Not hating on them. And it is for the X300, and it will fit any gun with an X300 that you put the X300 on it. But it is the Tier 1 MSP. It is in bright orange. I have put it on. I have worn it around the house. I have checked with my usual things like going to, do your number one business, trying to be as non-offensive, I guess, to the ladies as I can. I have done different things with it that I can do perfectly with my other holsters, and it is probably one of the bulkiest holster. They don't need all the shit they have on it. It's way overkill. Some of the stuff they've done to it, I don't even know why they have it on the holster because it's not needed. Not saying it's horrible. Some people might really like it. There might be some people in the chat that have it. I'm just not keen on it, and I paid $160 for it, and I paid for it. They didn't give it to me, but I have not done a review on it, and I've had it for over a year. So there you go. Made it look like Flood 2, made it look like a ribbed condom. That's pretty funny. Shield Arms. Yeah, I guess Discover is going to start doing what it's going to do. Y'all have probably heard that about all the credit card stuff where they're going to start tracking everything. Let them track it. Who gives two shits? Pay with cash when you can, whatever you want to do. But, I'm not going to worry about shit I can't worry about. I don't care. Let me rephrase that. I don't like what they're doing, but what are they going to do? Come pick me up? I don't care. Whatever. Let's see here. Red Menace is saying I'm still going to buy one because no one makes weapon-mounted holsters for my Grisan with the TLR1. I mean, the MSP will fit. They have a TLR1 version, an X300, and what is it, that other version? The other light that kind of fell off the face of the earth. God dang it. Not the Cloud Defensive because they haven't had their pistol light out yet, but the other one. Yeah, pistol. I've seen a lot of Floyd's stuff that he does. He does do nice work. I mean, there are so many really good companies that are doing mill work now, so it's always a good to have options. Put it that way. Mod Light. Yep, Abigail, that's it. Mod Light. Yeah, they had some of those little keys, that were breaking off on those original Mod Lights. But don't ever say anything bad about Mod Light. They'll block you on Instagram. They'll block you, I got blocked by them way back when I had Instagram because I said something negative that I had found on one of the lights that I had checked out. Yeah, they blocked me. Nightcore. They've reached out to me. Nightcore. It was when they were coming out with one that looked like the TLR1. They reached out to me, and I didn't check it out. I mean, I've had Phoenix reach out. Of course, even after I told Olight to pump sand, they've had a different person, not the person I used to deal with back when I was checking their stuff out, but they had a different person reach out to me, and I just ignored the emails. Phoenix has reached out to me to check out some of their lights, and I just, I don't want to mess with any of that stuff. I like what I like. I'm not saying they're bad or good or any of that. Don't take it the wrong way. Um, I just like the Surefires and I like the Streamlights. Had really great luck with them. So, and they make what I like. And also, those are the two number one brands for holster fitment is your Surefire and your TLR 100, um, or your TLR ones and your 7As. All the rest of that stuff is going to be one-offs. They're just not going to be common. So I just kind of stay with the one that brought you to the dance, so to say. Yeah, I know that Modlite did catch a lot of heat for not having the momentary. And I do like the momentary, but like I said, not hating on anybody, but well, this, A-dubs, the government wants to be involved in everything. We know that. And what's crazy is every time we have these kind of chats and we talk about these kind of things, they're demonetized. I promise you this one is already demonetized. I bet I can look right now, and I bet it's already been kicked. Let's do that. Let's just check it out. If it even shows yet, because it hasn't officially, yeah, it's not showing yet because it hasn't posted to YouTube yet. It's still on StreamYard. Well, I'll tell you this. Lynn Holt saying Olight marketing is over the top. You're talking about a harassing company. I'm just going to let you know, if you work with these people, they will send you something out. Oh, we want to send you the new product. They'll send you the new product. You get it on a Tuesday. You physically get it on a Tuesday, and they want you to have a video out by Wednesday. And I told them, I'm not doing that. I am testing it. I'm going to run it. I'm going to beat the crap out of it. I'm going to slam it on the counter at the gun range like I've done on all the other lights to see if it fails. I'm not just going to throw a video up the next day because you sent me a light. I'm just not going to do it. And that pissed them off so bad. You have to do it for the sale, for the big Black Friday sale or whatever they used to call it. But their guerrilla marketing is crazy, or it was crazy. And you'll notice, I think a lot of people they fell off the face of the earth. And a lot of people got tired of them. You don't see any of the big channels pushing them anymore. They either got fed up with them or all the hate they were getting for it because they had to release them on a certain day and do all that shit. I wanted to check them, test them, make sure they were good. And then if they were worth doing a video on it, I would do a video. But I don't want people to tell me what to do. And I work with a lot of people that say, hey, we're sending you this product. Do a video or don't do a video. I don't care. And I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm not saying everything Olight makes is a piece of crap. I'm not trying to say that. But, just I've already had two of them fail. But they were the older ones. They might have done something different, but two is too many for me. Yeah, Pistol Pete, do it. Hell. Abigail, great question, and I actually have had this question asked many times. Would you say the turbo is worth the price if I already have a TLR1 HL? The turbo is a whole different animal. The turbo is super, super crazy bright. You're dealing with candela, a lot of monster candela. The turbo is 66,000 candela, so instead of having more of a flood, you still have flood, but it's more of a beam. So it's a concentrated beam, and that is where the refractors and stuff inside. I'm not a scientist or any of that. Don't take this to heart, but you're getting that tunneling like a beam. So if you had people against a wall and your other one, your TLR1 or your regular X300 had all the flood where you can see 3 or 4 people in a line. With the turbo, you could only pick up 2 of them. You could still see the other people, but if they were moving their hands in their pocket and stuff, it wouldn't be as visible. So if you need something to reach farther or go through photonic barriers such as street lights, window tint, headlights, like if you've got headlights coming at you or somebody's driving at you, going to try to run you over, and you want to see who's in the passenger seat, the turbo is going to show you who's in the passenger seat, where the other one, it's going to be a flood and the headlights are going to power through it. So that's kind of the difference. But I like the turbo. It's not a must-have especially if you're doing more home stuff or CQB stuff. The X300 or the TLR1 is fine. But if you really want to reach out or maybe throw it on a PDW or maybe a rifle periodically, then the turbo is where it is. Well, we'll take care of this one. Sam, you're in the wrong chat, buddy. I mean, Candela is a good thing to have if that's what you're looking for. Tell him, Abigail, get on to Sam. Yeah, Abigail, it's just depending on what you're wanting to use it for. I mean, like I said in my video comparing the two, I'm saying if you're looking for more flood and, like anything inside of 75 yards, 50 to 75 yards, the X300, the TLR1 is fine. If you need to stretch it out farther, then that's where the turbo really kicks in. There you go. That's cool. I haven't seen an outdoor range that's open 24 hours a day. Well, I guess if it's like if you're a member and you could just drive through the gate or something, but I don't think we have any of those out here. I haven't seen any. Not saying they don't exist. I've just never seen one. But we got about 9 more minutes or anything. So if y'all have any questions, comments, concerns, other than Sam, he's blocked, but y'all can let me know and I'll answer. I will give you my opinion. Yeah, I've tested it on my truck, and I've got standard on the sides. On the 2 front windows in Texas, you have to have 35%, but all the rest of my truck is limoed. And man, you can hit that thing up against the window, and it blasts right through it. And I checked it with my regular TLR1, and you could see a little bit in there, but not like that turbo. It whacked right through that window tint, the limo. It blasted right through it. What's up, Arcs Guns? How are you doing, man? If y'all haven't checked out Arcs Guns, please do. He's a local guy here, and we've still meaning to hook up and do the 2 guys, 1 gun. So we're going to try to get together and do that. He's just been busy. I've been busy with this job search. I will tell you this. Yeah, 27,000 Candela is not a joke, but you try 66,000 Candela, man, it's a handful. I mean, it's definitely bright. I was out in the yard in the back, and my wife was way up on the porch, and I told her to, kind of give me a 1, 2, 3, and then pop it at me, and she hit it, and I was like, holy shit! And then we tried the regular X300 Ultra, and it wasn't fun. I mean, I was like, whoa! But that turbo, that thing is a nightmare. It'll definitely. I mean, any of those lights, even the TLR7A, the smaller 500 lumen, you get hit right in the eyes with it. It's pretty damn bright. And that's another thing, I don't use the strobe. I know some people like the strobe mode. I always deactivate all of my strobe modes. I am not a strobe guy. I don't have epilepsy or anything like that, but if I just wanted to shine it on somebody and they had epilepsy and it was a good guy, I don't want them to, have an epileptic fit because I blasted them with a strobe. So I just turn all that off. That's just not me. Not saying it's bad if that's what you like. It's just not me. Yeah, and that's a light that, we were talking about on Chris's chat, and I said this, that TLR9 is so underrated. I love the TLR9. With the new buttons on the rear. I really, really enjoy it. It's a great light. 1,000 lumens, the skinny tube. Um, I actually, and I'll say this, I actually prefer, and I've got probably 5 or 6 TLR1s. I actually prefer the TLR9 over the TLR1, even the HL, because it's slimmer. You don't have the big bell housing on the front. And then also, I love the switches on the back versus the old rocker switches. I do like the TLR9 switches better, but and they're priced pretty well. But the TLR9 fits best on a 5-inch gun. It just, I've put it on 4-inch guns, and it sticks out fine. But it's like it's perfectly made for a 5-inch 2011, or like mostly a 5-inch. Like my MPA, that's where it pretty much lives, and it fits on that gun great. So I really do like it. But there's not a lot of holster companies that make it. I know QVO Tactical does. They make one for the TLR9. But what's up, Red October? How are you? One of my other Texas brothers. Oh, yeah. Ark is saying he ran the TLR9 for a couple of months, held up well for 500 rounds easy. Yeah, shit, I put way over 500 rounds, probably thousands and thousands of rounds through that MPA, and it works perfectly. So, still chugging along. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Streamlight new buttons. They're just awesome. Someone else is red. Yep, that's his actual name. Red October. Yeah, he's had that. Red October has had that name forever. So we got Red October and Red Menace. Not enough red. No, there's plenty of red. There's not enough orange. We got to have more orange. Y'all know that orange is my favorite color. Yeah, I said the same thing. I told Streamlight that. I said, man, can y'all retrofit or on your new TLR1s, if you come out with them, can you have that button? And they said, well, the insides really aren't made for that. So that's just what they told me. That doesn't mean it won't ever happen, at that particular time. They, I guess they can't retrofit that particular setup. I'm sure they could if they just revamped a whole new light, but and that's what you got to think about. There's so many holsters that are made for the TLR1. Removing the bell housing or what they have to do to adapt it is going to change, and then have to have another holster. And that is another good thing that I really do appreciate about the Surefire, the Turbo, is it still has the exact same housing, no difference in holster setup. So if I want to run the Turbo or I want to run the Ultra, they all fit in the same holster. So that is a good thing about that. But sometimes when they start, and that is like some of the other brands, I won't say their name, but y'all know who I'm talking about. If they come out with another thing, it's like it's a whole different revamped light, and the holster companies aren't going to make them for all these different, cheapo lights. They're just not going to do it. And I don't blame them, because when you make molds and all that, since I've been working with Harry and, some of the holster companies, those molds and all that other stuff are not cheap. So when they have to change, a light processor or something, they've got to mold up for that and change that. And that's $20,000 and this and that. For some of these cheaper lights, it's just not worth it because it's not a dominant light in the marketplace. It's kind of like some people don't make left-handed holsters because, it's only what is it, like 10% of the of everybody's left-handed or something, I think they said. So it's just not a huge demand. And it sucks. I understand if you're left-handed. But, unfortunately, it is what it is. Yeah, it's like you're saying, and I've said this too. It's like the footprint thing. You got RMR, Delta Point Pro. You got all these different footprints, and that's another thing. Like the HoloSun TLR9. A lot of people say, "Oh, that's an acro footprint." No, it's not. The HoloSun TLR or HoloSun 509T has its own footprint. It won't fit on an acro mount. So, I wish they would have made that an acro mount. And as far as I will say this, as far as all the mounting, I've got the RMR, I've got the Delta Point Pro, I've got the acro, I've got all these different mounts. As far in my opinion, this is my opinion. I honestly can say this without any hesitation. I think the superior footprint is the acro because it's mounted, you got the bar there, then it's literally clamping. It's clamping that whole unit onto that bar. You're screwing it on there and clamping it down. I mean, I haven't had any of my dots loosened because I use the proper, torque wrench and inch pounds and blue Loctite and all of the other stuff. However, when you grab that thing, I mean, it's like it's like it's part of the unit. I mean, that thing is just monsterly locked on there. So, the acro and also the Steiner MPS, will fit on the acro mount, and I just really that's my preference if I have to pick one. Yeah, Korth revolvers are very nice. My local gun store is a Korth dealer, and I've played with plenty of them. They're super super nice. David's asking, what is a good double stack 1911 in 10 millimeter? Oh man, Dan Wesson makes a really nice one. Tanfo makes some really nice ones. There's a 2011. Tanfo makes a 2011 that's in 10 millimeter. Um, I would say Dan Wesson or Tanfo, and Springfield Armory makes one too. But the Tanfo and the Dan Wesson are legit. They're very very well made guns. But it is 8:01. We will shut this bad boy down. I appreciate all of y'all being on. Really means a lot. Keep me in your prayers for the job situation. Really appreciate that. Appreciate y'all checking on me and asking me about it. Um, really feels good to have the family care, and that's the way we all should be. Love one another, all that good stuff. Check on one another periodically. Make sure everybody's up, good to go. But we will shut this down. If y'all want to tune in over to Chris's chat, please do. But I just wanted to show you, the Mauser with the markings, and it means a lot to me. I'm glad that I own it, and it has a lot of sentimental value. But y'all have a great night. Be safe out there. Love one another. And remember, an unarmed nation's a very weak nation, so we all got to carry on and repeal these guys. Y'all have a good night, everyone. Take care.